Guys, we got issues. So, this is the guild battle review video, and it is not going to be a pleasant one for me. Fair warning, I'm kind of jaded right now. Not necessarily just from this, but I killed Callie 15 times in the last 2 days and got one drop. And I'm one Callie copy away from maxing her ult, and she's gone now, so I just gotta wait until she comes back in a month or whatever it is. But oh well, that's RNG, right? If I got 14 out of 15 drops, I'd be like, oh, less RNG. But alright, so, guild battle. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of issues. First, I'm gonna go into the effect it's had on my guild personally, and then I will go straight into guild battle mechanics, because lots of things need to change, Nemar, but we need to talk. So number one. Offense is a little ridiculous, the limitations they've put on it. So, and I will get more into that later, but the effect of that has been in my guild, because we have some guildies, you know, they're pretty hardcore. We got some guildies, you know, they play the meta teams. We got some guildies that are like, I'm leveling up all my favorite heroes that I like. And we got some guildies that, like, you know, they use only male characters, or they don't want to use XYZ character because of whatever reason it is, you know. And I try to embrace that, and that's cool, you know, because in a game, there's all different types of players, right? So, and not everything has to be about the meta. It's not like we're playing a Blizzard game. Well, that was all fine and dandy, you know, because it used to be those people that didn't necessarily like the PvP. You know, you could do your 3 daily PvPs for the daily mission and be done with it. Or even if you don't want to do that, that's up to you. But now, the entire guild is affected because, you know, people that have had the pattern of raising whoever they want, or raising, you know, I'm not going to raise Morgan because I don't like her. I'm not going to raise this character because it's a female. I'm not going to raise this character. Well, now those same people, they're kind of getting to the point in my guild of, oh my god, I'm holding the guild back because I didn't play the meta characters, and I'm thinking of quitting the game. That's what I got from one of my favorite people in the guild. And I'm like currently trying to convince him not to leave. And I have another, you know, there was just a lot of salt, you know, because, and I'll get to the actual mechanics of the battle later, but as far as how it's affected me personally, it stressed me out so much yesterday I didn't even stream. That was part of it. There was some other reasons, but that was one of them. Just I didn't want to deal with the salt, like, because so far guild battle has been a net negative for me. Now granted, it's still in beta, you know, there's still changes that might be made, but the way it is now, man, they would have to overhaul a lot of stuff for me to be happy with guild battle. But that's personally how it's affected our guild, and I will just say this before I forget it, because I might forget it later. This is a horrible system for new players. And granted, most PvP and most gacha games, or just pretty much any game in general, is usually a bad deal for new players. And you know, you get those, oh, you just gotta get good, or like, oh, yeah, but like imagine guild recruitment now for, you know, say the top 10% of guilds that most people want to be in. It's just like, oh, there's a guy here, he's ranked 28. LOL, ranked 28. Oh, yeah, no, we're not accepting you. We gotta win guild battle. You know, because rank 28, they're just going to get stomped for probably a month by all the higher teams, and you know, no matter how well you are, no matter how good you are, the stats are stats, and the farming rate is the farming rate, unless you're willing to wail for it. You know, so that's a turn off to new players because they're going to have harder times getting guilds. And even if they do get in those guilds, they're going to feel worthless because what can they do in guild battle unless there's like a super weak person? And even if there's a super weak person, maybe they don't beat them in 30 turns. I guess I should explain that mechanic. So, but overall, horrible system for new players. This is, honestly, it's ridiculous in my opinion. But that's my piece on that. So, the way that guild battle works, and I'm not going to do it here because our guild battle is scheduled for a certain time of the day and I got to pump the videos out right now. Guild battle is basically there are a bunch of points depending on how many guild members are on the opposing guild, up to 30, because 30 is the limit. And in order to beat them, you need 60 stars. Now, getting stars means you have to beat those points. And you can get up to 3 stars per battle. And the opposing guild, and we've all set up our defensive teams, and that team is supposed to either win or hold the point. And the way that it works is 30 turns. If it takes you more than 30 turns to kill somebody, you lose a star, so it goes to 2 stars. Now, you can get 2 stars on everybody in the defense that you're fighting and win. But it's like 60, like I said, right? Or is it 60? Yeah, 60. Because there's 90 total points because there's 30 guild members. Now, when the guild member is missing, if they only have 29 guild members, it becomes 57, and, it goes down from there. But, okay, so the issue is, first of all, there's a 5-minute time limit, which they should just get rid of that, like, entirely. That's ridiculous. 5 minutes to kill somebody. Give me 10 minutes. Because the only reason I like the timer is so that someone's not locked in a battle forever, and if they go AFK or, power goes out or whatever happens, then it should just auto-kick you out after 10 minutes, and that person loses. Okay, I get that. There was a bug that actually screwed us out of 2 of those losses that you see over there were from bugs. The bug was specifically people on the defensive team would be locked in a battle, and they'd be locked in the battle for 4 hours and no one could attack them. So there were like super easy teams that people either, for whatever reason, they might have lost connection, got registered weird, or whatever happened. And we just couldn't attack those people. So effectively, that was like a win for them, like instantly, because... And we're talking like people that had no purple stars, level 50 characters, etc. And, easy to get 3 points off of. And some of the lower level guild members could be like, hey, I could go do that one. Okay, cool. So that gave us 2 of our losses. One of them, we just got stumped. Couldn't do anything. That was the one where we were still figuring out how to play guild battle. So the timer should probably be increased, and the time should have nothing to do with the star level, as it currently doesn't. That's cool. Now, number 2. 30 turns. You have 80 total turns in the combat, and that counts the enemy's turns. In 30 turns, you have to kill the enemy, or else you lose a star. So you can still beat them on like turn 31 or turn 50, 49, whatever it is. And you'll get 2 stars, but you lose out on... a potential star. Now, that can be replayed by someone else, but, you only got so many charges. And there's 3 charges for attacking for your teams. But as you use your characters, you can't use those characters again. So if you lose, if you win, whatever happens, you can't use those characters. So it's making you field 3 different teams, which before Netmarble was not doing. So that's a new thing we're going to have to get used to. And in these early days, it really kind of sucks, honestly. I can field 2 decent teams, and the rest of them, there's too many supports and tanks. I'll never kill anybody. Which brings me to my next point. So, there is a trend that is going on right now that, quite frankly, I am super, not seething pissed about, just annoyed. It's just so annoying. The annoying part, we've always had this kind of tanky revive meta in the game in PvP, where people run people that have self-revives and characters that can revive other characters, and then throw a tank in for delay, and it's been whatever. Like, you could still beat it in most cases, if you had the right counters, even though it's super annoying and dumb. And Netmarble, to their credit, they have put in characters to counter that. So, like Morgan with anti-revive, the Nemesis rework, Cynthia to a point, Aristo, who almost no one uses, Mary, which, But the problem is with the revive meta, revive is 100% instant, always works. Anti-revive is chance on hit. So when you counter something that always works to something that's chance on hit, clearly the chance on hit, doesn't quite have the same draw power. Now, it's gotten even worse, unfortunately, in Guild Battle because people are putting up teams that have literally no business being in PvP. You could never win with the team. So, for instance, I'll give an example. A couple of Guild Battles ago, there was a team on the opposing team that was Cordelia, Claude, Eamon, Ramu, Rue. Now think about that team. Claude, Dark Tank, famous for delaying battles, and occasionally he gets some cheap wins with what's it called? Looming Death on his ult. Cordelia, AoE absorb damage or damage immunity. AoE stun chance, revive, or not revive, regen queen. Super tanky, super annoying. Has a 3-person taunt. Cloud also has a 3-person taunt. Eamon. I am now very torn on Eamon. And I will get to exactly why later. But for now, let me finish this point. Eamon, a tank with 40% base dodge most of the time. A tank that can ult you so that you can't use your 3. A tank that has lots and lots and lots of different, just mitigation mechanics. And he hits one person, usually. Now, then you have Ramu and Rue, which I'm sure most of us are familiar with by now. Ramu can revive up to 3 people if her ult is skilled all the way, but usually it's 2 people. She's super tanky, and she has a stun proc on her 1, which, by the way, has cost me 2 30-turn kills. That's stun proc, which is funny. 2 days in a row. Number 2, Rue. We all know Rue. She cleanses, she revives. She can put up abnormal status immunity, and on her 1, if she gets a proc with the Dispel, she can heal herself and another person for a gigantic ton of life. That team has no business being in PvP. Normally, but it is so effective here because all you are trying to do with your defensive team in Guild Battle is delay. Delay, 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 delay. Even if they have no chance of winning, you're trying to delay them to 80 turns so that they eventually lose. But even if you can't, you delay them past that 30, and then they lose a star, so the chances of them beating your guild go down. That is effing ridiculous, Netmarble. That needs to stop. Because you started to go towards, okay, we're putting in anti-revive here. We buff Nemesis. Cynthia hits hella hard and can silence. Morgan, anti-revive, even though she has self-revive. You started to go, but then you just kind of just destroyed the whole thing and just fed it to the dog. It's gone now. So this isn't beta, and I hope that can be changed, but that is ridiculous, okay? And there are lots of teams that are going up like that, to where it's like triple tank, double tank, triple reviver, not even a DPS, not even a hybrid. What is that? How is that fun? How is that fun? If I am a new player to the game and I see that, and I like PvP, let's say I like PvP, what makes me want to do that? What makes me want to do that? That is a horrible development decision. Horrible. And I hate to be tough on you guys, because you guys have been pretty good to us overall, and you mean well, I get that, but that is a horrible development decision. This entire mode needs to be changed drastically, in my opinion. Now, I have sat in other people's streams to formulate my opinion, and of course I have my own experience, and we've discussed it, like, yeah, it's not fun. Guild Battle's not fun. It's kind of tearing guilds apart a little bit, and other than like the reward system with Ian and some of the new runes and stuff, which I will also get into later. It's just not fun. It's not fun to do. Other than farming, there's really no point to doing it. So it's just, I don't even know what to say. It's not fun, guys. So, I will give some suggestions later on things I think could fix that, but I need to get into my other points. There is another dangerous precedent that has sprung up, and I have noticed it the last 3 days. And Guild Battle has really brought huge attention to it. So let me get out of here real quick. I will show you guys something. This could really F up the game in PvP. Let me go to runes. Go Morgan. Let me find the rune I am thinking of, and I will continue my discussion. By the way, if you're going to offer a rune like this, give me 15 to 20% chance on something. My opinion. Where is it? Where is it? Aha! Here it is. Okay, so. What I said about there being triple tank and, you know, or sometimes triple revive, double tank, whichever combo. There is a very dangerous precedent going on now where now that Aemon has shown up, and now that this rune is in the game, it is a 4-set, but I have seen people do it. So here's the deal. Resolve. 15% HP upon activating once per battle. So Resolve, for those who don't know, it is something that will activate before Revive, because you will take someone from 100% health to 0% health. They will Resolve. Some Resolve has healing mechanics to it. Some of it has buffing mechanics. But essentially, you can't kill the person in one shot. So a lot of us were doing things such as using Morrigan to kill Ramuh, because Ramuh has a self-revive, but Morrigan with her ult, since she hits Ramuh 30% harder and ignores defense, and sometimes she will proc that unable to be revived, and then Ramuh's just done. Which is great, because there should be a counter to Ramuh, because Ramuh is super tanky. And that's fine, so. But now the issue is, let me go to heroes real quick. Not only is there that rune in the game, there is now this guy. I am highly torn on him now as whether or not he should have been added to the game, because activates Resolve for an ally for 1 turn if the ally takes fatal damage, restores the target of Resolve's HP by 50% and increases attack by 50%. So that team that I said earlier, with Aemon, Cordelia, Claude, Rue, and Ramuh, I will do that thing, because Morgan's turn is generally pretty fast, where I will one-shot Ramuh, unable to revive will proc, and she will not die because of Resolve. Now, I have also done that with teams without Aemon, with that rune set I showed you earlier, and that effectively destroys that. Because even if you have anti-revive up, they didn't die because they resolved. And once you hit them again, like say you can hit them with another hard ult, even with anti-revive debuff up. For one thing, it has to kill them again, which, you know, it can miss. You know, maybe you're taunted or whatever's going on. So, but let's say like I hit her with a Saya ult after that. You know, might kill her, might not, depending on what happens, and you know, because Aemon gets his turn first, so that dude, his AI usually will do his 2 or his 3 first. So if the person that's next is taunted, and say we manage to get to Ramuh's turn, Ramuh's rocking a lot of attack speed, or their team's rocking a lot of attack speed, they manage to CC my team. Killing that team in 30 turns is nigh impossible. Simply because of this. Not even him. Just simply because of that. So I'm not saying nerf this. I'm not saying anything like that. There should be resolve mechanics and stuff in the game, but know what's going on at Marvel. And you need to tweak the turns for that, like 50 turns or something, because 30 turns is ridiculous, especially when the enemy team is taking half the turns. And if they're landing any CC at all, or they got like lots of speed runes and they're taking lots of turns, there's really nothing you can do. It's all RNG at that point. Skill-wise, there's nothing you can do. And granted, there should be RNG in the game, but that is making this ridiculous. Most of the Asian guilds have figured that out. Some of the American guilds have figured that out. I'm sure a lot more of them will now in the European guilds. So you need to bring up that timer at least 20 turns, probably more, honestly. Because turn 50 is the turn where most of those tanky teams start to fall apart because attack damage goes up. So now, you know, no matter what kind of stupid delay mitigations going on, you can figure out a way to get past it. And that's one of the great things Netmarble's done in this game, is increase damage every 10 turns after turn 50. So, but you know, we only got 80 turns to do it, and if they happen to have taken out a couple of our characters or CC hell or whatever, you can't do nothing, and you can't even bring those characters back. You're just done in guild PvP. So that is very troubling to me and very problematic. I hate that. So, but it just looks like I have to deal with it. I hope Netmarble puts in more counters to that, and I know a lot of you guys are telling me, well, but there is counters to resolve. You can put up anti-healing, you could put up poison. Yeah, but the odds of me putting up poison or anti-healing and getting unable to revive, come on. That's not gonna work. That's simply not gonna work. Like, you know, chance on hit, it'll work 30%, 20% of the time you'll get both buffs, but it's not gonna work. So that makes me sad. That makes this much more not fun. Because it's not like we're even having battles, you know? We're just like fighting a team that's just trying to stall us. Like, it's like when you're watching an anime and it goes like, I'll delay him as long as I can. No, don't sacrifice yourself, Hiroyuka. You run and get out of here. You're the savior of the nation. Oh my god. So there's that. Guild battle. Okay, so I've gotten through that. Now I have a couple other points. Let me try to remember them all. One of the things that universally people agree on is it is way too hard to attack in guild battle. As you can see, our defense phase has way more wins than our attack phase. I'm sure that's the majority of people that are, you know, semi-built up as guilds. And yeah, so defense phase needs to be nerfed slightly. Not a ton, but it needs to be nerfed slightly. What I would like to see, personally, why not just make it, and even though I'm sure this would be a pain in the butt to program, but what would be cool is, you have 30 people in the guild, you have 30 people in the opposing guild, that is 6 5-on-5s. Let us all just pick one character out of our all of our heroes in our hero box, and pair them up randomly in teams among the guild, randomly, so you might end up with something dumb, like, you know, 3 supports and 1 attack and whatever, but still, it's chance. And let those teams auto it out. Now, I know what some people are going to say, like, oh, auto, that's not fun. Is this fun? This isn't fun either. I would much rather watch an auto battle of random character teams. Because there will be a lot more things to be seen in that would be kind of fun to watch, and you might see some heroes you don't normally see. But that would be a lot more fun, and that would be a lot more new player friendly, because it is much easier to build up one character than it is to build 3 teams. So it doesn't have to be exactly like that, but something like that would be way funner. It could just be like guild battle randomizer or something. That would be much more fun to watch. You know, I'll throw my Tayo in. People will throw all their characters in. And then let's just, oh, look at that team. You know, it's freaking Tayo with Cordelia, and then there's freaking Sid and whoever versus Claude, and you know, it's Kane and whoever else. That would be fun to watch. That would be fun to watch. But and that would also include a lot less stress for everybody. And then we can kind of, you know, go over, you know, and at that point, granted, you know, there would have to be some type of way to watch it for everybody, like a video recording or a live type battle thing. Like, this battle is gonna, you know, go down in 30 minutes or 20 minutes, whatever. But that would be a lot more fun. It would be a lot more new player friendly. Uh, so that's my suggestion. I've heard a couple other suggestions out there, and you guys in the comments make your own suggestions. What you'd like to see with Guild Battle, your own experiences. Do you think it's great as it is right now? Do you think it's garbage as it is right now? Trying to think of all the other, if there were any other points I wanted to make on this. I mean, it's in beta, so we'll see how it goes. But man, dude, I do not have high hopes right now. They can improve it, but there is like zero fun in this for me as a guild leader. Zero fun. Now, I've talked to my guild about it. Hopefully, you know, we've kind of decided to, even though we got a decent rating there, we've decided to just let it be as it is. So if we do good in it, great. If we don't, we don't. Because most of us aren't PvP orientated. And the game's kind of forcing you more PvP, so at least with this mode. So I think that's pretty much all my grievances. Otherwise, you know, the guild shop, the extra runes and stuff. Ian, oh, that is one thing I need to say. Okay, I'll get to that in a second. Ian, you know, he's pretty crazy. I've seen a couple Ians out already. He's super strong in guild battle. A tank that can heal himself. And, you know, all the extra runes here. You know, all interesting stuff. Now, potential counters for this garbage if Netmarble decides not to change this. Guys, we need to, you know, this is another thing I want comments on. You know, those stupid tank teams like I was talking about earlier with the Ramus and stuff. Your potential counters are as follows, and put your own things in the comments if you have some tips as well. If you got a Cynthia, you need to start working up your Cynthia. Morrigan, she's on the banner right now. If you got a Morrigan, skill her up. She can counter a lot of this garbage. Well, Aristo, a lot of the holy teams can counter it as well. So Aristo, if you have a Christian, Aemon there, as you see Aemon. And you need penetration damage, you need ignore defense, and you need Cynthia herself can silence, so Cynthia's basically limiting people to 1. You get your Cynthia hit as hard as possible, crit as hard as possible. She's gonna multi and counter a lot, and you buff her with like Morrigan leadership, 40% more fire damage. And, you know, you just have Cynthia go to town. You're gonna need a Cynthia to clear out most of this garbage. And so everyone that's like used to running Rue for everything, you need to get over it with Rue and run Aemon with her. Oh, maybe not Aemon. Actually, yeah, Aemon's not bad. Guaranteed counterattack. Who was I thinking of that was really good for her? Rue's bad for her because she silences herself, and she needs to be silenced to do all her super damage. So, you know, run her with like a Karen, you know, keep hasting her. I wish I had a Karen, I don't, unfortunately. And, you know, just run her with anything that's going to make her attack faster and harder. Cynthia's going to be really key. Cynthia hard counters Ian super hard because Ian can't heal himself as long as she's there and silencing him and ignoring defense. And Cynthia's just going to clown all this BS that's going on right now. So if you got a Cynthia, build up Cynthia. Especially if you have a turn cooldown, because if you have a turn cooldown, her 2 basically becomes instant. Because her 2's on a 1-turn cooldown. So just go to town, just blast everybody, just destroy everything. And Cynthia will be really strong. Cynthia is actually the character I'm working up next after Callie. Other than that, Morrigan, like I said, anti-revive, hits really hard, dispels. Has that extra life, berserker status. I'm trying to think. Nemesis is a good counter right now. Because instantly, on her first turn, assuming she's not stunned or whatever, you can cast your 3. She has 3 of her self-stacking buffs, so she's gonna follow that up with a 120% of her attack, ignore defense. That'll rock things really hard. And consider just running some straight AoE guys for this BS. So Britain, Meryl, anyone that hits super hard, just consider it for these things. Because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous the way that they're rewarding tanky revive teams. So just get something that hits super hard. Super hard, hits over and over. Just bring it down to Chinatown. Just destroy everything. Bring the chandelier down. Kung Fu the living hell out of everything, because this is ridiculous. So. Otherwise, I'm sure there's some other characters. Maybe I'll make a video for that, as far as how to counter most of the thing. But I gave you a couple guys. If you guys can think of any more, and I'm not even talking about support or tank characters. I am talking about characters that will help kill within 30 turns if that 30 turn rule stays. So, oh, this is so depressing for me. But alright, guys. So this has been my thoughts on the guild battle. Not good so far. Needs lots of tweaks. Leave your suggestions down below, your experiences on how to do it, because right now it's kind of ridiculous. So I said my piece on it, and I'm just going to drop it till I see what they do with it after the beta. So anyways, guys, I'm ShowtimeDr on Twitch, ShowtimeDr. Check out the title screen. You can see link to my Discord. Come in there. You know, be nice. Hopefully, don't be crazy. A little crazy is fine, but you know. And, you know, share your experiences, ask some questions, etc., etc. We're all anime heads in there, so if you're an anime head, come on in. Date bio and all that garbage. So, and I will see you guys again. I got one more video I'm doing today. It is going to be the Morrigan in-depth guide. So I will catch you guys later. Good luck with your guild battles. God help us all.